Good morning and a happy almost New Year. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. We are in between our holidays right now and getting ready for the new year. And in that process of getting ready for the new year, we have been working on saying goodbye to the old year and all of our good times and gratitude and disappointments and difficulties, our hopes and dreams that we have accomplished or not accomplished this year, and to really take time to look at any leftover baggage we might be holding from the year or any leftover desires, hopes, and dreams that we have carried with us through the year. And if our hopes and dreams were accomplished, we added them to our gratitude list. And if they were not accomplished, perhaps we had an opportunity to evaluate them to see if we want to carry them into the new year, or maybe they became a disappointment or difficulty. We didn't get it accomplished. We didn't do as well as we thought, all the critical voice things that go on in our heads as human beings. But regardless, we had the opportunity to look at them. And one of the main purposes of that is to really see what is it that we want in the new year? Who are we today? And are we the same person from January? Of course, we're not the same person. We're not the exact same self that we were in January. We are a whole new person with a whole new understanding of ourselves, of life, and we are moving into the new year and with that new understanding of ourselves. So we may not have the same desires. We may not be carrying all the same stuff, hopefully not, that we had this year, because this year had its own purpose, its own tasks, its own processes, its own experiences, and things that we needed to do. Next year will have its own agenda in our lives, and we want to be as clear and ready as possible to walk into the new year and all those new experiences that are coming. You may have found in your journaling work as you released the year this last month that there were some forgivenesses that were needed. This last week, we focused on forgiveness, the forgiveness part of the 7 Steps process by Jane Hart and her organization, Center for Enlightenment. And I am curious about your process. A lot of times what comes up is people that we need to forgive because we found in our journaling or as in our reflection that, oh, here's a couple of people I need to forgive still. And sometimes that forgiveness is just a matter of doing a little bit of processing and checking it off the list. And other times it can take a whole lot more to really come to a place of forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't mean letting people get by with things. Forgiveness allows us to have a new understanding of a person or a situation, of ourselves, so that we can take a step back and look at it differently and not be so emotionally wound up in the subject of our forgiveness need. And it doesn't mean there aren't things to do. It doesn't mean there aren't boundaries to set or self-compassion to have, but it's really about being able to see this situation differently and step back. So this is our week. This has been our week to look at those people, look at those experiences that need extra attention. And in this week, we are going to take the whole year up the 7 steps. And we're going to do it again next week too. So we've got time. Today's not our last day, but we are working with the last 2 steps of the 7-step process, which are review and release and completion, and the final completion. And the review and release step is about checking in with ourselves to see, okay, do I feel ready to release this year? Do I feel any self-doubt? Do I feel any fear? Do I feel any residual the word that's coming to my mind is curmudgeonness. Are we holding on to any angst that we don't need to be holding on to? Any angst towards ourselves? That's a big one. That's a big one. Perhaps you found that forgiving self is a very valuable part of this forgiveness step because we are so critical with ourselves over time, and we don't need to be carrying that into the new year. So kind of lost my train of thought with that, but review and release. Yes. So as we're releasing the year in our meditation today, we have this week to continue to stir that pot and just be aware of what else am I holding? As the new year comes in, there's a shift in energy, whether we feel it or not. I remember I've shared this in the past, but I remember when I was a kid, I would get to December and I would feel so heavy. I would feel like, oh my gosh, I would feel so tired and heavy and like, oh my gosh, I just can't wait for the new year. And then in January, I could feel this like clear slate. I could feel this. Um, I didn't really understand it at the time. I could just feel it. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait until January. It's like all this heavy um, Christmas energy is um, off. And I love decorating for Christmas. I love the Christmas season, but I also can't wait to put my Christmas decorations away every year. It's like, okay, we did it. We're done. Let's put them away and move on. So this is kind of the energy that we want to get into of like, okay, yes, I've let that go. I'm moving forward. And if there's anything inside as we're going through this process and as we're continuing our journaling this week, we want to make sure we go back and spend some time with it. Oh yeah, there's that person, or there's that thing I'm holding against myself, or there's that situation, or here's my fear about what's coming. We want to let all of that go because there's nothing to fear. We are going to handle whatever needs to be handled next year, just like we've done every single year of our lives, and we are just going to keep doing that. So there's nothing to fear. We have everything we need. We may not like some things that happen, but we have the capacity within us to handle anything that comes. So there's no reason for fear. And I'm saying that once for you and once for myself. So one thing that Jane Hart talks about for this step is writing a letter to God. And this, you don't have to believe in God, you don't have to have any sense of that, but writing a letter to yourself then about about this year that has passed and about what you're releasing. I mean, we've been doing that in our journaling process, and write a letter in that letter about the new year coming forward. And what do you want for yourself in the new year? It's different than New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions are oftentimes empty promises that we don't really follow through with. But if we get in touch with how am I going to support myself in the new year? What kind of commitment am I making to myself? Not behaviors. Behaviors are fine. Behaviors come with a commitment of, I want to say essence, like it could be, I commit to 15 minutes a day of meditation. That's wonderful. But the essence of that is why are you doing that? Why is that important to you? What do you want to get out of that? And that's really what you're committing to. You're committing to that result. And daily meditation could be one of those behaviors that helps you get that result. So, writing a letter to God, to yourself, is a wonderful completion part of this process. So we've got this week to do that. So with all of that said, we are going to meditate and take this year up the 7 steps for our initial round here. And we'll do it again next week. So I invite you to get comfortable in your chairs, couch, bed, wherever you are meditating from today. And we take a couple of deep breaths to help our mind, body, just melt into the chair. Just let your breath be from the belly. And we want to do big breaths right now, not very deep, just full. Helping the body relax. Now let your breath relax to its natural pace. Breathing from that belly. Feel your body relaxed in your chair. Just let your attention be in your heart space right now. I invite you to picture your basket, your container holding this year. It's a basket or box or some kind of container that means something to you. And in this container is all those experiences, people, our good times, all those things we're grateful for from this year. Our many hopes and dreams that we've had. Some completed, some incomplete, some no longer necessary. All of them are in there. Our disappointments and difficulties from the year that we've had to use the very best of us to move through. Perhaps some of them turned into accomplishments that we're grateful for or experiences that helped us grow. So that disappointment or difficulty also showed up on our gratitude list. Also in this container of the year are our forgiveness needs. All the forgiveness we've done, all the forgiveness we have left to do. And with that, our intention of truly forgiving, releasing, letting go of all the turmoil that goes along with unforgiveness. And the process of forgiveness is a loving commitment to ourselves to be free from any person, place, experience, thing that would otherwise bind us to it. All of this year of life we hold in this container. For me, it's a basket. And just feel the gratitude for all of these ups and downs that have grown us to where we are in this very moment. Now before us, before you, I invite you to picture a set of stairs with 7 steps. These steps are made out of pure gold. They shine and sparkle. They are solid and lead up to a beautiful light. And we approach this first step with this year in our arms, with all the love and gratitude. And we take that first step. And even though we started our journaling process with disappointments and difficulties, we are going to start our meditation process with the gratitude, all those gratitude items we put on our list and more. The ones we recalled and the ones we didn't. And no matter what we've had to go through this year, we have many, 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 many things that we're grateful for. Just feel that gratitude pouring forth from your heart, from your container, throughout your body, all around you. Feel that gratitude. And we are releasing these gratitude experiences and people, not our cherishing of them or our memory, but just releasing them so that we are that much more open to all this gratitude experiences in the new year. And in that gratitude, we take the second step. We take that next step. of good times, all of the good times we've had this year, all of those beautiful experiences that we enjoyed, the beautiful people that we enjoyed. There's so much more of this than there were the disappointments and difficulties. So it's so good and valuable, and it feels so wonderful to acknowledge those good times. Just think of a couple that stand out to you right now. Feel the joy. And we take that joy with us without attachment, without binding, just the joy of it. We open to new joy in the new year. And in that gratitude and joy, we take the next step, the step of hopes and dreams. By now, you've looked at your hopes and dreams from the year, what you wanted to accomplish this year, what you did accomplish, what you didn't accomplish. We just release all of those on this step. I'm grateful for this opportunity to look at those hopes and dreams, to release the ones that no longer serve us, the ones we accomplished. And we just note the hopes and dreams that we still have as we move into the new year. And we release all of this as we take that next step, the fourth step of disappointments and difficulties. And I invite you just to check in with yourself. Are there more disappointments and difficulties to process this week as the new year, as we transition into the new year? We're just checking in right now. So we release all of those disappointments and difficulties from this year. Some we are so glad to leave behind. Some we're so grateful that because they helped us grow so much. We're remembering those people that challenged us. Is there more to process? Just make note of any outstanding agitation you might feel. It's okay if it's passing because we're remembering all of these, but if it's lingering, make a note and write about it later in on your disappointments and difficulties step. All of our fears are on this step. Any fear that might be clinging. And with a deep breath, we just release all of it. Release it all. And we take that step of forgiveness, step 5. And Jane calls this the step of unconditional love. It truly is unconditional love for others, for ourselves, most of all. Just think about the forgiveness work you've done this week, this year. This is another step where we check in to see if there's anything lingering that needs more of our attention. We release all of the energy that we've held around that which we were forgiving. Just let it go. And we take the next step of review and release. We check in with ourselves again. For anything that we're carrying beyond that 5th step. We release all from the year. We feel the love and gratitude for this year, the challenges that we've overcome, and the gratitude for that overcoming. And we take that final step of completion at the top of this set of golden stairs into this light that surrounds us right now. So we hold this basket of the year. And we, with love and gratitude, we lift this container of the year into that light and just let it go. Let it just float up into that light and disappear before our eyes. And we feel the lightness of letting go. We feel the relief of letting go. We open ourselves to all the new joyful adventures of the new year. The new people we'll be meeting, the people we've known that we'll be meeting in a whole new way. Approaching even routines with a new perspective. And we commit to ourselves right now to do everything we can to be loving and kind to ourselves and to support those hopes and dreams that are for the highest good of our life, of our soul, of all those around us. And we are free, free to move forward. I invite you just to feel yourself floating down to the first level, those golden stairs disappearing as you gently float down, 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 back into your chair with a whole new lightness, joy, peace that we carry with us into this transition into the new year. Just feel that love in your heart as you take a couple of deep breaths. And if you want to meditate longer right now, if you have time to do that, I definitely encourage you to do that. If you need to go about your day, just feel your body in the chair, your feet on the floor. Take a couple more deep breaths. We just feel that lightness. And if you had some residual items to journal about, disappointments and difficulties, hopes and dreams, more gratitude, forgiveness, I invite you to write that down for now. Just dig into your journaling or write it down so that you can come back to it. We've got a couple more days until the new year, so we are good to go. Thank you for joining me today and throughout this month as we've been really doing our diligence for letting go of all of the old energy from the year and opening ourselves to what's coming in the new year. Thank you and have a wonderful, delightful New Year celebration. Whether you are going to bed early or staying up until until the first moment of the new year, just enjoy and share your love and light with your loved ones, whether you're going to be with them or not. Just let it shine. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the new year. Bye-bye.